Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to uh, Gilmer's channel. To End All Wars is a game we're looking at right now. I started a playthrough of this back a pretty good while ago. I really like this game, and I've always liked this game. It is To End All Wars about World War I, and I'd like to do a playthrough of it this time as well. So let's just go through the settings that I have for this game that I'll use. First, music is completely off because I get a copyright strike every time I use music from one of Ageod's games. And maybe I should talk a little bit about Ageod. This is an Ageod game. They tried to. It's not necessarily a hex type game. They have regions, and the regions aren't hex shaped. They're drawn, hand drawn. Anyway, this is their game for the World War I. So, like I said, music not going there. English, of course. Regroup armies if enabled at the end of each turn. The armies are stacked together in each region, but are not merged together. I don't really like that. I've never really liked that, but whatever. Battle animation, I have this on high because I'm playing this on my newest computer, and the last time I kind of tried it, the battles were going just so quickly that I wanted to give a little bit more animation. Turn compression, that's for PBEM, and I don't use it. I'm not doing a PBEM. Alternate buttons, if checked, some menus will show directly all buttons. Not recommended for new players. You need to restart the game for the change to take effect. I don't know what this really means, but I have it on. Sounds, of course, are on. Pause after battle on. Tooltip delay, immediate or none. There's no delay. So as soon as I cursor over something, the tooltip will pop up, and you can see it popping up where it says choose a delay. It pops up immediately. Focus on move. I've got that on medium delay. I don't know that I've really noticed that much difference on that. And then save replay, if checked. A replay of the past turn will be saved. This is useful if you're playing a PBEM game, because then the opponent, one of you has to play the turn out where both sides go. And so if you have this on, you can send that to the opponent, and then they can kind of watch the replay. But I'm not doing a PBEM, so let's keep on going. Fog of War on, because I don't want to see what the enemy's doing. Delayed commitment, medium delay. Units will not engage the enemy as soon as they meet them. A delay can occur ranging from 1 hour to several days, depending on the commander's strategic rating and depending on whether friendly units are already engaged in battle. Foreign entry is set to normal. Click it to set to hard. I don't know what foreign entry they're talking about. I've never heard anybody talk about this or say who the foreign entry is that could join, because pretty much all of the combatants in World War I are available to join through diplomacy, so I just don't really understand that. Historical attrition, I've never really liked attrition for movement. I want the historical attrition not to be historical. I want it to, if you're sitting, and I know in World War I the sanitary conditions were pretty bad, but there is an event that hits you with sanitary, problems with your biggest army, and so I'm not a big fan of losing men from desertion and sickness. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I know that historically that did happen, but we do take steps to make a game more playable or more fun. And to me, not having historical desertion and sickness is more fun. Automated replacements. You are playing with automated replacements, high level. The AI will buy replacements for me on average 15% of the number of elements using them. Battle planner, if active, then under circumstances, large battle and presence of high ranked generals, you will be able to choose a deployment and a battle plan before the battle that only works in single player. I've never liked this. Uh, Give the general his, let him be the commander. I'm the overall chief, but I'm not running each battle. I've never liked that. I don't know really why they've ever included that because it seems to take away from the game, if you ask me. What do I know about battle plans? Activation rule: if selected, land forces will have a large movement and combat penalty if the stack commander is not activated. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If the commander has a little envelope icon, and if the icon is white and open, that means he's activated. If it's orange and closed, that means he's not activated. If he's not activated, and that's what that's doing is kind of simulating some commanders, wouldn't get going, wouldn't do stuff, or kind of just would sit around. One famous example from the American Civil War was George McClellan. Lincoln famously was frustrated with McClellan's lack of doing anything at certain points, but history kind of looks back at McClellan a little bit more friendly now and says that he was a pretty good commander. He just didn't go as fast as Lincoln wanted him to go. Randomized generals. The generals don't have their stats randomized. Click to choose low randomization. The randomization is on their strategic, offensive, and defensive value. This option is only applied to new games. I've never liked this. Can you imagine having Ulysses S. Grant and having like 0, 1, 2, which are horrible numbers? It doesn't make sense. It completely is completely ahistorical to do that. Naval box always handling. Never really liked this. Never really liked the naval boxes thing. I've never really. I'd rather the game figure that out, because to me this game is the land war. Extended pool, no. You are playing with the historical allowance and recruitable military units. Easy supply, yes. If easy supply option is active, then troops in regions within besieged friendly structure, is that unbesieged? Yeah, unbesieged friendly structure will always be in supply. Kind of makes sense to me, but who knows? If active, traffic penalty. If active, then moving too many units in a given region within the same turn will provoke a traffic slowdown. This penalty can be set to low, medium, or high, depending on the cursor position. And I put it to low. AI. Activate AI, obviously. AI ranking, currently at Sergeant. I play these games not to, I know that for some people, the higher the challenge, the more fun. But I guess I'm getting old and I'm not playing these games as well. So Sergeant probably will give me a pretty good challenge. So I'm going to stick with it. Use all behaviors, yes. If disabled, some AI behaviors will be disabled. Lower AI performance, but higher turn processing speed. It is recommended to check this box for the best game experience. So I've got a pretty high level computer, so it's not going to lower the processing speed for me. So I'm keeping this on. Activation. Current difficulty level is normal. Click to change it to hard. This level means the AI has a +1 bonus on activation roll. This is just to give the AI a little bit of an advantage, because everybody knows that AI usually works on a somewhat disadvantage for a lot of this stuff. AI detect bonus. This setting gives a bonus in detection points for the AI. The options are no bonus, low bonus, medium bonus, high bonus, very high bonus. For the best game experience, it is recommended to play with a low bonus, which is what it's on. Aggressiveness. The current AI aggressiveness is normal. Click it to change to high. AI on normal aggressiveness has optimized behavior. If you put it on high, you get some weird AI activity where you have generals going deep into enemy territory with no supply and they just get cut off, and the army gets destroyed, and it's a massacre. And then give AI more time, allow the AI to spend more time calculating its turn. 25% slower processing. I've already talked about processing and how I don't really care. I'm not worried about processing speed. And then 10% increased performance on average. So we're giving the AI more advantages. We are doing the AI ranking of Sergeant, but we're giving them using all behaviors and giving AI more time, giving them an activation bonus and a detection bonus. So we'll see if that kind of evens everything out. This is more of, you know, like map options and things like that. Error logging off. By forwarding the files to the development team, you can improve the game for yourself and others. In other players, turn processing is slightly slower. I don't think they're ever going to improve this game anymore. It is a done game. I doubt they will ever work on it again. So there's no point in having this on. CPU sleep mode. If enabled, the game will not use any processing power when it is not the active application. If unchecked, the game will use the CPU even when minimized. I'm not gonna. If you know anything about these games, you never want this game to sit in a situation where it's not the enabled game. If you alt tab out of these games, they will crash the desktop. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So I don't have this on, but I don't ever make this not the top game. And I never alt tab out of these games because if you do, like I said, crash the desktop, it's a pain in the rear. Memory usage. You are allowing the game to use 10% of your physical memory for its internal caching purposes. I don't 75% of physical memory is for internal caching purposes. I don't know if that makes the game harder or easier or whatever. Max texture size. You must restart the game for the change to effect. This setting allows the game to run in a safer mode if the video card has trouble unloading and reloading large textures, more than 1024 pixel wide. The settings are small textures, medium textures, large textures, very large textures, default. Running in a safer mode will disable the larger region images, oceans, and such. No winter map, that's off because I want winter map. Autosave turns. 3 turns will be automatically saved by the game engine. That's enough. Textures initialized. Allow the game to load all region textures during the game initialization. And then smaller fonts off because I need bigger fonts. Scripts. No scripts. That's it. So we're going to play a new game. And new game. New game. Great War full campaign. This scenario covers the whole war just before the initial mobilizations of late July 1914 until 1919. 107 turns. And I'm going to play the Western Entente. It looks like every game every playthrough I've ever seen of this game, they always play the Germans, which I know a lot of people who play war games love the Germans and love playing the Germans for World War One and World War Two. I've always loved playing the other side. I don't know if it's because I naturally gravitate towards the good guys, but I've never really liked playing the Germans in these world wars, except I do like playing the Germans or the Prussians in Rise of Prussia, but that's not really the same thing as this. And I also like playing the Russians in Victoria 2, and I've got Victoria 3, but I haven't played it. But in Victoria 2, I kind of liked playing the Germans and creating Super Germany. But anyway, playing Western Entente. The Entente win this scenario by accumulating more victory points than the Central Powers. Ending VP for a Russian and French player are combined for final Entente score. This can be done by taking objectives and inflicting staggering losses to the enemy. The Russians usually get beat up pretty bad, and then they leave the war sometimes. So let's just play, see what it's like. All right, this scenario covers the whole war after the initial historical attacks in August 1914 until 1919. And it says, if we do this, Archduke Franz Ferdinand assassinated. Let's take a look at that. On 28th of June, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie, the Duchess of Hohenberg, were shot dead in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, one of a group of 6 Bosnian Serb assassins coordinated by a paramilitary group called the Black Hand. The political objective of the assassination was to break off of Austria-Hungary's South Slav provinces so they can be combined into Greater Serbia. Though the liberal-minded Franz Ferdinand was not overly mourned by the ultra-conservative Austrian government, Emperor Franz Joseph and the Austrian military leaders used his death as a convenient excuse to press for war with Serbia, which would ultimately lead to the great catastrophe known as the Great War. And it was also known as the War to End All Wars. And we know how that turned out. So anyway, apparently, and I've learned this within the last 3 or 4 years, apparently they took a wrong turn and went down the wrong road, and this Princip guy, Gavrilo Princip, was drinking in a bar and saw them, and it was like a target of opportunity for him. He runs out and shoots him. I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of an interesting historical fact if it is true. Preparing for war. It is time to prepare for war. Each of the great powers planned extensively for the deployment of their massive armies. You can choose a war plan from the military F3 screen on the first turn. Each plan has its own costs and effects, so choose wisely. And then we have a bunch of other information. You'll get to the point, if you play these games, you'll get to the point where you know which information lines you can ignore and which you want to pay attention to. Something like this, France is providing you with diplomatic aid plus 2 engagement points. Russia is providing you with diplomatic aid plus 2, blah, blah, blah. Neutral sentiment has moved the United States 1% towards neutrality, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's what most of these messages are, just telling you which country moved which way, and it really doesn't mean that much at this point. And then this is fairly important. Central Powers has accepted Germany into its alliance. Central Powers has accepted Austria into its alliance. Western Entente has accepted France into its alliance. Eastern Entente has accepted Russia into its alliance. And we're playing the Western Entente. We don't have any control over the Eastern Entente. So, F3. So currently, this is the historical war plan, I think. And 17 was the historical option. Penalties none. During the turns of August 1914, France will gain objectives on Metz, Morhanga, I'm not sure, Saarburg, Strasbourg, Colmar, and Mulhouse. And then EP plus 10, rail capacity minus 1,000 initially, recovers 100 each turn in August, and then 400 each turn in September. Effects French GHQ or General Headquarters will be established at Langres. Under Joffre, Armies 1 through 3 will initially be attached to the General Headquarters, and GHQ will be fixed during the August 1914 turns. During the turns of 1914, any leaders in EST France or Alsace-Lorraine will automatically be active, and any French units in Alsace-Lorraine will gain 30% cohesion at the end of each August 1914 turn. Various none. I tend to like this one. Plan 19. Background. This plan calls for an offensive against Germany, attempting to flank any German attempt to invade Belgium by sending 3 armies through Luxembourg and the Ardennes. Penalties, none. Objectives. During the turns of August 1914, France will gain objectives on Luxembourg, Trier, Bonn, Cologne, and Aachen. EP +4. Rail capacity -1,000 initially. Recovers by 100 each turn in August and 400 each turn in September. Same as the other one. Effects. French General Headquarters will be established at Sedan. Under Joffre, Armies 1 through 3 will initially be attached to the General Headquarters, and General Headquarters will be fixed during August 1914 turns. During the turns of August 1914, any French leaders in France, EST France, or Germany will automatically be active, and any French units in Germany will gain 30% cohesion at the end of each August 1914 turn. Various. France declares war on Luxembourg, which slightly harms relations with Great Britain and United States. But I still like it. And there we go. That is turn 1. So let's save. And then let's run the turn. And you'll notice these turns go. This turn goes a lot faster than normal turns, but these turns go really fast. All right. So let's see. Serbia rejects Austrian ultimatum. Serbian Prime Minister Nikola Pašic, after long deliberation with his government and the other great powers, agrees to all points of the Austrian ultimatum except the demand to allow Austrian police and military personnel free reign in Serbia. Austria immediately responds with a declaration of war, which is almost immediately followed by a declaration of war by Russia. So Austria declares war on Serbia, Russia declares war on Austria, and is an ally of Serbia. So the Germans have chosen the Kronprinz plan. Background: the plans to attack in the west are abandoned, and Belgium is not invaded. 3 armies are deployed in the east, 5 in the west for a balanced defense. Penalties: Central Powers national morale -5, Central Powers alignment in Germany -5. Objectives during the turns of August 1914: Germany will gain objectives on Königsberg, Metz, Strasbourg, Posen, and Breslau. Defensive objectives will lose national morale if these fall to the enemy. EP +4, rail capacity -500. Oh, wait a minute. Engagement points +4, rail capacity -500 initially. Recovers 100 in each turn in August and 150 in each turn in September. German headquarters will be established at Mainz under Kronprinz. 1 army and 4 through 6 armies will be initially attached to the general headquarters, and general headquarters will not be fixed during the August 1940 turns. During the turns of August 1940, any German leaders in Germany will automatically be active. The Austro-Hungarian plan, we're not going to read the whole thing, but Austria decides to attack Russian force, opting to deal with Serbia at a later date. This gives them -20 in Austria in Central Powers alignment in Germany, +10%. Nice. Russian war plan. Russia masses its offensive against Germany and stands on the defensive against Austria. 4 armies are deployed along the border with Prussia, and 2 armies are kept in reserve to stave off Austria. Eastern Entente national morale -5. Central Powers alignment in Austria +10%. So, what else? Great Britain has shifted 5% towards the Entente. We've got some engagement points. These are the messages that I told you aren't really that important. 1% alignment towards the Entente. Eastern Entente has accepted Serbia into its alliance. Central Powers has accepted Luxembourg into its alliance. That's because I declared war on Luxembourg. So, what do we do first? First off, even though they haven't told us to do this yet or haven't explained diplomacy yet, I want to get on diplomacy as fast as possible. Great Britain gets a diplomat, a major diplomat, and then these are the major people that we can use a major diplomat on. And then these minor diplomats can go to, we're going to use one on Greece, one on Japan, one on Portugal, and one on Belgium. And we'll see how that works out. Let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, we don't have any rail capacity, but this guy's army is already set up, so we can add this and this. So as you can see, his required command is 44 and his provided command is 46. That is a full army. We have no percentage problems over here, penalties. These don't have them either. What I am going to do, I think, is move him here. Oh, I'm locked. I can't. Duh. This guy is locked. He is not a full army, though. Required command 13, provided 28. We can go ahead and move one into that. And now it's required command 25, provided 28. We'll lock that for now. Up here, these are supposed to be active, I thought. I could be wrong, but I thought they were supposed to be active. So we will find, I like putting Ferdinand Foch in Deuxième Army. And then one of these others. This one's good. This guy, he's a 3, 2, and a 0. So his strategic is 3, his offensive is 2, and his defensive is 0. I like using him to attack, but as you can see, he's inactive. Premier Army, this guy's a 2, 2, 1. Not very good. Auguste Dubai, or Dubai. Okay, so his army, he needs a couple as well. Do that. And we're going to move him here. There should be one more army. Maybe not. Maybe not. What's up here? Joffrey is... Okay. I guess that's pretty much all that we can do right now. Let me just take a look at Great Britain. So Great Britain's alignment is 76 to the Entente and 24% to the Central Powers. We got to get that up to 100% to get England or Great Britain into the war. And we do that by, look at this, 3,000. Good God Almighty. I hope I can, if he decides to attack, I hope I can fight him. I don't think, oh no. What else? What else can we do? We have more supplies. We have this being built. The Saint Nazaire. These are all locked. Take a look at this. Oh, I'm glad I did that because now I remembered something. Um, so this is the scores and objective screen. As you can see, Paris is a 50 score of 50. If Paris falls, I think we lose. If Berlin falls, I think they lose. Capital is Paris, of course. Our current morale 100, win level 150, defeat level 5. Current victory points 4704. Central Powers current victory points 5463. No foreign entry possible. I don't know who would be entering that isn't already available to enter no matter what. So anyway, the way you look at this is the first number is Army, second number is Navy, and then the base number is who you're playing. So the Western Entente baseline is 100. So we got 100. They have 259, but then you add 160 to it, so that makes us 260 to their 259. Pretty even. And then 100 naval power plus 53, that gives us 153 naval power to their 259. And as you can tell, without England in the war, we have a serious disadvantage on the water. So that's that. Oh, I did want to let's go ahead and build some units. I'm going to use these mountain brigades because they're pretty strong. And that's going to be it for this turn. And then let's see what the Germans want to do. If they want to mess with us. So let's go ahead. And everything, or most everything, should unlock next term. There will be some things that aren't unlocked, but most of them will unlock. This guy will unlock. The guy down here will unlock. This guy will unlock. This will unlock. And that guy will unlock as well. All right, movement's coming. I can remember when these turns took so long that, oh, and that's what I didn't do. I gotta remember to move the naval forces that are out in the open ocean. Because if you just leave those naval forces out there, they'll run out of supply or they'll get sunk. So Air Force is a little loud. Okay. Tutorial Diplomacy. You will notice the diplomacy off-map area consists of regions with flag graphics. Each of these off-map regions represents a nation that can participate in the war. The top two rows are considered the major powers, while all the rest are considered secondary powers. If you hover over a diplomatic region, you will see alignment statistics show up. If a nation is still neutral, its alignment will be split between the Entente and the Central Powers to indicate which side it favors most. If a nation has joined one of the alliances, it will have alignment split between its alliance and the rebel faction, which represents internal unrest within the nation over the war. You can sway neutrals to your side via events or by playing an ambassador regional decision. To play the ambassador decision, click on the icon indicated in the arrow below to pull up the regional decision menu. We've done that already, but we'll show it again. You will see the first two available region decisions are ambassadors. The first decision is for ambassadors to major nations, and you can only choose one of these at a time and at a higher cost than its secondary nation alternative. The other ambassador decision can be played on secondary nations as has a higher limit and lower cost than the major variety. You can try this out now by dragging and dropping an ambassador regional decision onto a diplomacy region. Well, I've already done that, so we'll still do it. We'll do it again. Ambassadors have a chance to sway in the nation they are assigned to each turn. Their chance of success is equal to your current alignment in the region. So, for example, if Bulgaria is currently at 60% alignment to Central Powers and 40% alignment to Entente, the Central Powers ambassadors will have a 60% chance of success each turn, while Entente ambassadors will only have 40%. Each turn that a successful roll is made, that nation moves 2% alignment points towards the influencing alliance. If at any point a nation reaches 100% alignment towards an alliance, it will become a member of that alliance the following turn. Note, the Great Britain and United States will never join the Central Powers even if they reach 100% alignment. But they are unlikely to join the Entente anytime soon if they are that far out. I didn't know that. I thought the United States could join the Germans. Along the top bar of the diplomacy regions, you may see certain icons. You can hover over these icons to see the effects that are currently underway in that nation. Some of these can have important effects, such as neutrality, which will gradually push a nation towards a 50-50% split between the alliances, or one of the pro stances, which gradually move the nation towards one side or the other. In some cases, nations will also lend support with diplomatic or economic aid. Huh. It says 4 of 4, but this is part of it too. In the regional decisions listing, immediately after ambassadors, there is a decision for declare war. Dragging and dropping this decision onto a neutral nation will have the obvious effect of declaring war, and next turn that nation will be your enemy and part of the opposing alliance. Be wary declaring war too often, as it will sway other neutral nations towards your enemy, particularly the USA. So, that's that. So, one of your ambassadors has increased support in Belgium. Where is that? It's here. So it's 51% Entente and 49% Central Powers. One of your ambassadors has increased your support in Portugal. We're 84% Entente and 16% Central Powers. Portugal seems like a small nation that you shouldn't necessarily have to worry about. But if you... Not there. This is it. Portugal has some places in Africa that will help you, if you decide to kind of do any kind of warlike actions in Africa. But you really need the British to do anything in Africa before anything, because they have the biggest army and it's in here. So, but Portugal's easy to sway, so we just normally just go after Portugal early. And then one of your ambassadors has increased support for your cause in Great Britain. So Great Britain is now at 84% Entente, 16% Central Powers. So we're well on the way to doing that. Great Britain has shifted 5% alignment towards the Entente. So that's pretty nice. France, blah, blah, blah. Neutral sentiment has moved. So, okay, here are events. Background. In the years before World War I, Germany and Turkey grew closer together. On August 2nd, 1914, while still affecting public neutrality, they signed a secret military alliance, and when the cannons started roaring in Europe, Turkey quickly demonstrated her support for Germany once it had received evidence of Germany's good intent, 2 cruisers and £5 million in gold. This event can only be played if the Ottoman Empire is still a neutral nation. Ottoman Empire shifts 10% alignment towards the Central Powers. So the Central Powers played this. That was, I think, something that they can play to get Turkey to come closer to them. The Goeben and the Breslau. Background. At the outbreak of the First World War, the British fleet attempted to intercept the German battlecruiser SMS Goeben and light cruiser SMS Breslau. The cruisers evaded the British, passing through the Dardanelles to reach Constantinople. Their arrival was a catalyst that contributed to the Ottoman Empire joining the Central Powers. So I think they played this as well. The Central Powers played it. The Ottoman Empire shifts 10% alignment towards Central Powers. Germany loses the Goeben and Breslau ships. So they enacted that. So this is where we ordered these two all these up, and then this was still in the queue as well. I didn't say no. I didn't stop it. So nothing really has happened yet. As you can see, Central Powers morale is down to 93. Eastern Entente's 94. We are at 101 national morale, and it also says it here. And so we're still kind of on a neutral level for total armies. Our 100 plus their 167 to their 266, but our Navy is still drastically not good. Lost men, 14,800, 12,150. Now, we got to get these out of the open ocean. That's not mine. Are there any more out here? No. What about over here? Nope. And then over here, is this? South Pacific. We don't want, this is the Netherlands. New Zealand is not ours. I'm not really sure where I can put these guys, to be honest. I wonder if they'll allow me to neutral or blocked. Oh, here I can go to Indochina. Yeah. So then let's go over here. Just make sure we don't have any ships floating around out here. I don't really like doing anything with the Navy until we know for sure. That we have the British Navy, because any other Navy is going to get just destroyed. So let's bring this up to Nice. Although, I will say, we don't have to go all the way there. As a matter of fact, I don't want to go there. We want to go to Tunis. Because require command. I don't know that they have any. Okay, transports. They do not have transports. So all of them are locked. So we've looked at that. Let's look at this. Our naval patrols have failed to engage the enemy. Our planes flew recon missions. Our naval patrols have failed to engage. Sir, we are succeeding against the enemy. We have earned 0 engagement points. It doesn't sound like we're succeeding. Then we get back over here. 69. The Deuxième Army has arrived in Luxembourg. I don't know if that means that we own this land. I don't think it does. This guy needs to be turned into an army. And the reason you can see it, the way you can tell, if it says provided command 26, he's not an army. If it says provided command 45, 46 up and up, then he's an army. So what you need to do, even though it says quatrième army, it's not really an army. This is to create an HQ, and that will create the army. And now if you look at it, it says provided command 51. That proves to you that it is an army. And then you can add a couple of, actually you can add more, a couple. You can add this too. Okay, so now it says, and it won't let me point directly at it, but it says required command 50, provided command 51, and then you can move this guy down. I wonder what it's, wow, I used up 95 of my points. But it's needed. And then this guy is not an army. So what I'm going to do with him is bring him up here by himself, because then he doesn't use, even though you do rail, he doesn't use up any rail because it's just a one dude, one guy. This is not. I'm going to move this unit here, and I can't use rail. And can we entrench or do anything? Build a depot, destroy a fort, build a fort. I can't do anything. I put this unit on assault and all-out attack because that way we'll take this town. Because, oh wait a minute, it says Western Entente, then it's already with us. If you look at the city of Luxembourg, it says military control Luxembourg, and then in parentheses it says Western Entente. That means we control it. And then, of course, we'll just keep these companies here and hope that we're keeping them all in place. I don't like this guy over here. I'd like to move these up to here, but I don't like this guy here because then he can move through there. Who I have to kind of offset that is this guy, but he's locked. But I can make an army out of him when the time comes. And then if I can make him an army and get him up to full strength army, because right now he's only 24, required command 18, provided command 24. We can make him more than double this and then move him up here and he'll help. But that's incoming. Then we want to let's first look. So all these are active in Sudan. Saint Michiel. Michiel. That's him. That's good. Vitry Le Francoise. That's them. Belfort. That's this guy. These guys. And then Deuxième Army suffered 4 hits, and Premier Army suffered 2 hits. That's no big deal. Group dirigibles received. Marine received. Sir, our units on the field received a total of 6 replacements from our reserve units. Good deal. Sir, the capture of Luxembourg and Luxembourg. See, if I just read my messages, I would have known I had captured Luxembourg. We have captured it from the Central Powers. Sir, the men of Garnison de Murac rapidly improved their entrenchments. Okay. And then a diplomatic mission is underway in Belgium. A diplomatic mission is under Portugal. Japan and Greece were unsuccessful. And then a diplomatic mission in Great Britain has gone underway. So we need to replace Greece and Japan. So we have to reapply it. Okay. Let's see here. Nobody is this is active, but there's not really anything there to deal with. These are all locked. All right. I believe that's it. I could buy some units maybe. Let's see if we can buy some. If you click that, you can just do France. If you click that, you can just go to land units or infantry units or cavalry, artillery, medium artillery regiment. I want to build one. Let's go to infantry. We have 41 infantry divisions that we can build that are regular, and then reserve we have 19. I think that's enough. Oh, maybe not. Now we've used up everything we can. So let's go ahead and save it. Run one more turn, and then I guess we will call it an episode. And like I said, these turns really process pretty quickly compared to what it used to be. So, yeah, it is what it is. If you tried to, I mean, I guess I could try to pause the thing, but it takes like 2 minutes. So I don't know that it's all that beneficial to try to pause a recording. So. See, it's about to move. And you kind of want to show the actual movements, because that's where the battles are. Try to figure out what they're doing by watching their movements. but it's kind of hard to determine. Looks like there might be a battle in Luxembourg. They've had to cross a river, though. So. Yeah. So let's see what they had to do here. I thought they had to cross a river. I don't see anything that indicates that they had to cross a river. It was a very small fight. I mean, it wasn't a small fight, but it was 355,000 men to 188,000 men. We won, but they had to cross a river, I thought. But I don't see anything that says they had to cross a river. We'll look at that. We'll look at that because maybe they don't have to cross a river. But see it, look, see it. There's a river right there. I would think they would have to cross a river unless it was coming from this direction, but I don't think it was. But we won't get any national morale out of that victory, unfortunately. See how they're coming in, they're taking that one place. I don't like that. Oh, some more people are coming to Luxembourg. French victory. That helps us because then our ratings go up and our generals get a chance to be promoted. So hopefully we'll have a promotion. Maybe we'll have a promotion to be made. Look at that. They're going in deep on that one. Huh. They moved an ammunition thing and they lost it. Or, yeah, they lost that. Oh, they're going to Nancy. That's crazy. Look at this guy. Unlocking generals. Each nation has a pool of generals available but locked when they enter the war. You can see these locked generals in the diplomacy off-map regions. Click on the arrow below to navigate to this off. So basically, you can... I'll show you. Within the regions that represent your allies, you will see city structures with units inside. Navigate to these and you will see the general pool stack. Some nations have multiples, such as Great Britain, since they have subnations like Canada and Australia. To unlock a general, choose a Get New General Regional decision from the menu indicated below and drop it on the nation you wish to get a general from. Next turn, one of these locked generals will randomly be moved to the capital of the nation, i.e. an unlocked German general would appear in Berlin next turn. The general can then be located to the front and assigned like a normal general. Blockade. The Entente has the option to impose a naval blockade on the Atlantic and the Mediterranean shipping lanes, attempting to break the will of Germany and Austria to stay in the war via lack of food and material. The blockade is imposed by putting naval assets or naval vessels, which are heavy or light warship types, in the Atlantic blockade box and the Mediterranean blockade box. Each turn there's a chance of increase the blockade level based on the number of vessels in the region. Each element gives a 2% chance. So 50 naval elements in the region makes it 100%. As the blockade goes up, the Central Power will find their nation's willingness to stay in the war drop. The arrow below will take you to the Atlantic blockade box. The blockade level in this region will affect Germany's morale and willingness to stay in the war. So what we're talking about over here, blockade box. The arrow below will take you to the Mediterranean blockade box, and that's this. Shipping lanes and subrating. The Entente, particularly Great Britain, rely on overseas exports from the colonies for a large portion of their income. To take advantage of this income, merchant naval vessels must be placed in the two shipping off-map regions, one for the Atlantic and one for the Mediterranean. Failure to have enough merchant vessels in these regions will lower income for the Entente, and in Great Britain's case can lead to a gradual increase in rebel alignment in the nation. The Central Powers may use submarine units to raid merchant vessels in these regions. Each turn, each submarine unit the Central Powers have in these regions has a chance of sinking an Entente merchant vessel. Higher tech submarines, unlocked as submarine research progresses, will be able to make multiple attempts to sink merchant vessels. The Entente can protect their merchant vessels by including destroyer and light cruiser units in these regions. The higher the ASW research level for the Entente, the more effective these escorts will be. The arrow below will take you to the Atlantic shipping box. That's this. Submarine raiding in this region will have a heavy impact on Great Britain's income each turn, and a heavy effect on Britain's willingness to stay in the war. Entente destroyers and cruisers can help mitigate this and are more effective the higher the SAW research level. And this is the Mediterranean shipping box. And as you can see, there are ships already in it. So if you put more ships in this, it goes better. So let's exit out of that. Japan, Belgium, Great Britain. We won a battle, 0 national morale gained. We won another battle, 0. Won another battle, 0. Won another battle, 0. Quatrième army has arrived. They're ready. They're not ready yet. Let's kind of take a look at what we've got here. This guy's a 222. Oh boy. We want to make him an army commander. There we go. We'll make him go by train. It'll take him 2 weeks or 2 turns. This concerns me. He's active. Let's move him here. Let's move him here. Him here. Him here. And let's see if we can't cut this guy off. Move him there. He's a 2-star. We can add more people to him. This guy's active. We can move him up. Jeez. And then when we get this guy back, maybe we could go ahead and do it. We'll lock these because I don't want to combine them until he gets back. So then the only place he had, actually, look at all that supply. What are they doing with all that supply? We might be able to do something kind of swift there. But let's see. We're moving him there. What else? Train. Benson Sun. That's this. Okay. 3. 2 replacements. After the attack of Central Powers, Eastern Entente has lost Dubno and Dubno. They have known better days. An attempt to send in a diplomatic mission is underway in Japan. Castanel was congratulated. Ferdinand Foch was congratulated. We captured munitions. We'll just put them in there. And, oh yeah. Greece was unsuccessful. So we'll reapply this and hope it works. But anyway, I think that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you'll join me in this destination or this journey fighting World War One for the Western Entente. And I know that a lot of you like these games, so I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you giving me your time. And if you like the content, you can subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and press like and click the bell for notifications. And also, I just want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.